I'm a competitive Splatoon player, but I have my fair share of opinions that both casuals and other competitive players may hear from me and probably want to shoot me in Splatoon. So here are my biggest hot takes in Splatoon 3. Okay, so I'm starting out pretty decisive because half of the community loves this and half of them hate it. As for me, I want it to burn in the deepest pits of hell in Splatoon. The balance of Splatoon 3 right now is the best it's ever been in any of the 3 games. No weapon is unusable like with previous titles, and even the sub and special balance are pretty good. Unfortunately, main power-up will ultimately break the balance by making every player have to learn what it does for each weapon, because unlike the first game where it only increased range, it now increases either damage, range, or ink output, making some weapons like Boozle, an almost instant charge charger with a base damage of 85, able to do 99.9 damage, which is downright stupid. The bottom line is the balance of the game is in a good spot for the most part. Adding in an ability that means changing weapons will only worsen the experience of the game. Ask any competitive player to make a tier list of subs, and both of these guys will be at the bottom of the barrel. Oh, but Zorconic, it's not a bomb. Yeah, and you don't use them like a bomb. Toxic Mist is to force players out of an area or to slow them down to finish them, and I love it on Tri-Stringer and would love to see it on Snipe Rider for that reason. With both weapons, you probably won't be hitting one-shots, but Mist allows you to get them trapped and hit easier shots. Of course, the argument that bombs, especially Suction, force players out of areas and move them better than Mist does is present, and I agree to a certain extent, but Suction doesn't last as long as Mist, and they have completely different use cases outside of forcing people to move, which can be said about all subs minus these. As for point sensor, on weapons like the Nova, which can spam it all day long, it's really good at keeping opponents out of an area or revealing their location to track them down. Every second counts in this game, and with sensors constantly being thrown, it can change where the enemy has to go and really change how a battle is played out. I don't think these two subs are A tier, but they also aren't as terrible as people make them out to be. As I've stated previously, no weapon is unplayable. You could get away with bringing in Undercover in solo queue, but it'll be more complex than bringing in something like a Splash. With that being said, I really hate the Dynamo in this game. It plays the same as in 2, and it's just as fun. I know it was my third most used weapon in 2, but because of how much faster paced 3 is, the fact that the meta is entirely different now, and the new movement options, which allow players to just completely avoid being killed by this thing, it's just not as good as it once was. It doesn't help that it has a terrible kit. With both the Kenza and base Dynamo in these 2 games, I only use Sprinkler as a makeshift suction bomb, which costs way too much ink. And then they got rid of Booyah for Tack. I mean, I see the vision, because Dynamo's more of a support meant to be in the middle of where your teammates are and not be in the front or back, but even when I had games I was crushing in, Tack did a lot less than Booyah would've. The game is just too fast-paced for this slow of a weapon with not great range. Other heavy weapons with similar roles and playstyles often do a better job at what this thing is capable of, which is partly why I picked up the Tri-Stringer. It just does what the Dynamo does with better and more options. Casuals love these things, and pros think they're terrible. I mean, they're pretty okay, I guess. They're nothing special, probably like B tier, but they're really not that bad. At least the main weapon. These kits are, oh man, wow, they're something else. It has piss range, but almost instantly kills, and also has a dodge roll that can be combined with the squid roll to do some very vicious movements. Yes, it's outranged by quite a few things, but with the right team comp, Dapples are more than capable. However, I agree that other weapons do the things Dapples do, but better. So, I mean, I see where people are coming from when they say these things are bad, but I just don't think they're as bad as people make them out to be. No. Not Crab, not more nerfs to missiles, Trizooka. I think Trizooka needs a nerf. I hate this thing so much. All of the Splatoon 1 veterans who are watching this video will agree that as soon as they hear this thing go off, they fucking run. The problem is that you can shoot almost as soon as you activate it, making it annoying as hell to dodge. You can also get all 3 shots off pretty quickly, which is insane. Whoops, I missed a shot, let me just shoot it 2 more times with 3 bullets each to the guy in front of me whose life is about to end. This should not be able to be used as a panic button, the same way that Crab and Reef Slider can't. Give it starting lag, like half a second or so, maybe more. And I mean, this right here may be the hottest thing I've said yet, but the individual bullets should not be an instant kill. 90 to 95 damage max, but way too many times have I almost avoided Trizuka, but one of the 3 bullets hits me and I'm just out of existence. One bullet should almost kill, but not actually kill. That way, if you do die to one, it's because you were already damaged. And yeah, go ahead in the comment section and comment skill issue, because I know I'm the only comp player who thinks Trizuka needs a nerf. Anarchy having 2 modes, one more competitive than the other, and X Battles being its own thing is genius. Sometimes I just wanted to play ranked in Splatoon 2, but didn't because I was too tired and didn't feel like losing points in X rank. Now I can do that by simply joining open and having a way more relaxed time while still playing ranked. But I can also join X Battles whenever I want. These 3 modes, soon to be 4, means all 4 ranked modes will be available for you to play. That is amazing. And then they completely changed matchmaking. Instead of getting paired with players of the same rank, you're paired with people of quote-unquote similar skill levels. Yeah, now that's just bullshit. X Battles and Salmon Run are still like before, where only people who are X rank and whatever rank you are in Salmon Run will be paired with you. But in Anarchy, you can be A rank and get paired with an S+ player. That's stupid, because 9 times out of 10 when this would happen in the first month of this game's life, I'd be the one getting A and B ranks on my team, facing S and S+ players and losing terribly. And almost 4 months later, I still have the problem with really shitty teammates in high ranks. The game has made it way too easy to get into high ranks, which causes more casual players or players who are just not as good as competitive players to get into X rank or Executive VP. There's nothing wrong with being a casual player, and nothing wrong with being worse than other players. Splatoon is inherently a very challenging game to master, but why does this game allow these same players to match up with players far out of their skill level? It happens in every mode of this game, even X Battle. Yes, I'm not at the level of these top level players and teams, but I understand more about this game than the typical player, and my team and I have consistently made top 25 in the tournaments we've entered. And now my takeaway from this isn't to say all my teammates are shitty. I have my fair share of shitty games myself. Everyone does, but I constantly have problems with the teams I get or face just because there's a vast difference in skill. I honestly do not believe they added any form of skill-based matchmaking like they said they did. Here's a last second addition that completely slipped my mind until the last second, but players of different regions should not be able to join each other's lobbies. And no, it's not because I think all Japanese players are better than Americans, because outside of top level comp, that's not the case. It's because anytime I get players outside of the North American region in my lobby who joined said region, they lag terribly. I've never joined a different region lobby because my region's set to North America, but I don't understand why so many players join other regions. For us, joining the Japanese region and hopping into X rank is a whole other level. Those players are insanely good, but I can only imagine that it's just as laggy for them. Suppose this game can handle people that far apart with 0 lag. In that case, I encourage players to join different regions because you learn a lot from jumping into different environments. But for now, I just hate running into different region players because they're almost always laggy. I know I critique this game a lot, but it's only because I love playing it. Let me know your hot takes in the comments, and I may feature them in its own video, so subscribe and I'll see you guys on the flip side.